so.
April 8th, 2025. It's a day I'll never forget.
Okay.
The gamer inside me died that day, and that night, I couldn't sleep for shit. Thanks to the challenge runner known by Zero, I wanted to see if I could do it, but too many others had tried and failed. I was then called upon by my friend. I didn't have a choice. The run. That run. Nearly killed me. But at least I survived. I can't say the same for the others, though. If I could just forget what happened that night, the pain, even for a second, this time, you will watch to the end. You have to.
Alright, so this is my first ever Resident Evil challenge run, and it was moderately difficult, I would say. Set up ground rules here, so no reloading, and no reloading. Not really sure what you were expecting. This is the no reload challenge. In the event of an accidental reload, which does happen just because I've been hardwired to, you know, press square every time I shoot my gun, I will then just restart from the nearest checkpoint, and that only happened once at the beginning of the run, just because I was still getting used to it, but we fixed it fairly quickly. Wasn't a big deal. Finally, just so you know, this video isn't a waste of your time. Yes, you can beat Resident Evil 4 Remake without reloading, and yes, I did beat Resident Evil 4 Remake without reloading. But with the game making it nearly impossible to get any ammo into your gun without, you guessed it, reloading, this challenge was a lot harder than it is in the original. And because we are having to constantly buy and resell our weapons to refill the ammo, there's basically no reason to upgrade the firepower, capacity, or anything like that on any of the weapons other than our knife, which is a tactic you see me use a lot throughout this run. But I think I've done enough talking. So let's dive into some more of me talking. The start of the run is pretty normal. We enter an innocent man's house, and whenever he's furious and frightened, we kill him. But this is okay because it's all for our good friend Mario, and while there is no princess in this castle, there are a bunch of angry men that are looking for us. And while that's more down my alley, we couldn't stick around for long because we are here to look for the president's daughter. That's right. Send Leon. Send one man to look for the president's daughter in a foreign country. I feel like if I was in charge of that, it would have been SEAL Team 6 immediately. And now we get to what I consider to be the first boss fight in the game, the village attack segment. It's no good. Go. Okay. Goodness, man. Alright, man. Dude. Those eyes. Usually that's an herb. You gotta be kidding me. Wow. Wow.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
After that, I looted the village very quickly and went and met our friend Luis Serra. And it was around this time that I realized this challenge was going to be a lot harder than I initially thought. I didn't exactly think it was going to be easy, but I thought it was going to be more moderately challenging, and I was far from right. After dealing with the big cheese, we are kidnapped and taken to a prison-like area where we break free and clear out the area very quickly. It is at this time we meet the merchant. Normally this would be exciting, and don't get me wrong, it still is, but in the original, the merchant has something over the remake merchant, which is that whenever you upgrade the capacity of a weapon in the original game, even if the gun is at 0 ammo, it fully restocks the ammunition. However, like I said earlier, in Resident Evil 4 Remake, this is not the case. And it was at this section here, actually, right after the merchant, where we had our first accidental reload, and as soon as I realized I did, I just reloaded the save back at the merchant and continued on like normal. Here we arrive at the Chief's Manor, where we once again get manhandled. I'm not complaining. After the Chief's Manor, we go back to the village and head towards the church, where we find out it is locked. We then make our way to the fish farm, but beforehand, we do some target practice.
Boom! Got it. Oh wow, okay. That's what I wanted. No! Missed it. It's okay.
Now that we got that out of the way, we're headed to the fish farm, we get the fuel, and we go to the boat. Here we fight Del Lago, which was not very difficult at all. Basically no difference, and I say basically, literally no difference between the boss fight in a no reload challenge versus a regular challenge because you're using the harpoons. I'll save you all the boredom here at the lake segment, but there's not really much notably that happened. We just got all the secret treasures that we could, completed the puzzles, got what we needed, and now we were headed back to the church. I would like to note that I was still broke. Like, even after the whole lake segment, not spending any money. I have barely any money. We are just making it by. And it is here where we encounter the El Gigante.
I'm not watching this cut.
You got worms too?
Some rocks on him.
That's what I'm talking about. Good boy.
Good boy. Under him. Yes, we did it. Oh my goodness.
After that, we rescue Ashley, escape from the church, and I want to kill the Savage Mutt. So we go back up to the Chief's Manor, and then we handle it accordingly. The village segment really isn't too difficult. It's starting at the castle and the military island, but I would say the castle is the hardest. It's between the castle and the military island where it gets very difficult. Here we come up on the cabin segment, which was not very hard at all. Killed the brute, and then we're headed to my least favorite section in the game, which is, I call this the annoying ass section. It's where you're in the ravine, and you have to maneuver through bear traps and brutes, and then you have to fight the Chainsaw Sisters. Speaking of which, Bella Sisters were very easy. I tried to do it a fair way, as the merchant would say, but that didn't work, so I just... Now that we're coming up on the final boss of the village segment, we are almost to the castle. Here we encounter Chief Mendez. And it was around this time where I started to realize that he was just using me as a way to get to Ashley. And, you know, while that did hurt, we had to put the hurt back on him.
That's honestly fine. I think we want to get grabbed at first. Maybe even twice. Yeah. Maybe we can force him to grab us every time? Should be ducking down pretty soon, right? Yeah, there we go.
To think you could be this foolish.
Grab me. Yes. Now I can use my knife one last time. Really give it to him. Maybe get him to... Yep, there we go. Now here, what do we do here? Do we just shoot him with this, like, almost immediately?
Back at you.
Oh. I'm just bad. Like, that's actually just a skill issue, isn't it? There we go.
Running out of options.
Now I'm getting better. Okay, that's fair. Okay. I think I can win this. But I need to be, like, super careful. That was it! Grilled big cheese! That was, like, right there, too.
And with that, we limped our way out of the village and into the castle.
What's going on?
Well, at least we don't have to worry about being followed. Come on.
And with a warm welcome from the residents of the castle, we meet our good friend Ramon Salazar.
The eighth castellan of this magnificent architecture.
Leon hits him with the no thanks bro, to which he doesn't respond too kindly. We deal with this little henchman and then we're headed down to the dungeon where we encounter the Garrador. I make quick work of him while also knocking out a trophy along the way by killing him with my knife only. Now we enter Waterhall, which in my personal opinion is nowhere near as difficult as it is in the original. That is not a complaint, that is a good thing. And it was still very difficult to do, of course because of the challenge. I had to make use of every single rifle bullet, and with how some of those ganados move, it's pretty difficult. And right after all that we've done for Ashley, she turns on us. She attacks us for no reason, which Leon seems to be a big fan of. And we head to our next room, which is where we encounter our first red zealot. Now the zealots have the ability to turn normal ganado into Plaga. We made quick work of him and headed over to the medieval Gigante section, which I really don't like this section. If there's any section in this game that I would say, like, I know I talked about the ravine earlier, but if there was a part of the game that I would remove altogether, it would be this section right here where you have to go through the gates and stuff and then fight the medieval Gigante at the end. It's really annoying. That's just my personal opinion. I'm sure there's someone out there who thinks that's the best boss fight in the game. If you do, you're objectively wrong, just saying. After that, we go and rescue Ashley, only for her to get eaten by dogs in the garden for about 20 minutes. But that's fine, we made it through, and into the Grand Hall section. Now this part's pretty easy. One of them is just a puzzle. The other one can be skipped with a flash grenade or explosives. And then the third part is just the fight with the Armadura, and with Ashley's help combined with the fact that you've probably at least have one flash grenade here, it's not too bad. Then, thank the Lord, Ashley gets kidnapped. Pretending like we didn't see that happen, we go and fight the Golden Knight, which was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And with that, we're getting closer and closer to getting enough spinel to buy the upgrade ticket, which we are going to use on our knife. Headed out of the ballroom and into Salazar's palace, we encounter the double Garradors, which I did die here a few times, but once I got it down, it was pretty easy. We once again find Ashley where we determine she is too far gone, so we jump into the pit, narrowly surviving, and this is where I had a lot of deaths. I was so low at this part, and it's basically impossible to avoid the Novistadors down here, that they kept one-shotting me. Somehow I made it through, but even then it was very narrowly. And one boss fight after another, here we are at Verdugo. Now, I actually ended up running out of resources during this fight, and I had to resort to using, like, kitchen knives and boot knives. And I was able to just barely knife him to death after using all my ammo and grenades and stuff, but we did kill him, which I'm very proud of. We then meet with Luis, and he gives us the suppressant for the virus, and after clearing out the cave, we're coming up on the Double Gigante fight. Now, I don't want to say this was hard, but I was using a bolt thrower to shoot the dynamite on the Armor Gigante's back. The RNG, like, it's not even accuracy. Alright, the crosshair for that is a mess. I got lucky hitting it. And I had paused. I was about to restart because I just assumed I didn't hit it, but I did. After clearing those guys out, we go into the minecart section where I guess... Okay, so what happened was I did die during this section, and I was low on ammo. I believe it was the second part. And so what happened was I died, respawned, and my ammo was reloaded. It was refilled at the checkpoint. So technically I did not reload. That was not my fault. I had no control over that, so I'm not counting that, but I did want to let y'all know that did happen. And it definitely was responsible for me being able to clear this section. Without that, it would not have been possible to make it through that section, I firmly believe. Me and Luis continue through the Novistador cave, where we come up on Krower, and probably the saddest death in the franchise in my personal opinion. One of the most meaningful to me. After the fight with Krower and saying bye to our good friend Luis, we head towards Salazar's tower. And while the lift part was a little annoying, it wasn't too hard, and we were able to beat it pretty easily. Which means the last thing we had to do in the castle was fight Salazar himself.
Okay, hold on. Got him.
Watch your language, my lord. What would others think of you?
What would others think of you? Yes. Ah! Okay, dude. Let me see this. What can I craft here? Flash? I don't know if Flash does anything to him, but we'll try. Okay, that's good, actually. Got him!
With a golden egg and a few stabs to the face, Salazar was dead, and we were headed to the final and third section of the game, the military island.
Looking for something?
Heading into the military island, we do one of my favorite little skips that's been in the game since launch day. That, of course, is JJ Skip. And after successfully infiltrating our way into the base, we find where Ashley is being kept. And here we have one of my favorite segments, the Regenerator segment. You have to get 3 key cards, and if you ask me, this is a big improvement from the first game. It's a lot scarier than it was in the original. I think overall it was just better. No matter how many times I play that part, no matter what weapons I have, until that Regenerator's dead, I am frightened. Keeps you on edge the whole time, and it's very tricky. You can forget some of the things that go on in that section, even though they're very small and minute, very easy to understand. Under the high pressure, it turns what should be an easy segment into a very tricky and panic-inducing one. Afterwards, we rescue Ashley, where we let her know the news of Luis's death. And just like that, we're back together again. Making our way to the garbage disposal, we run into an Iron Maiden, which Ashley... Anyways, getting through that, we head into the wrecking ball section, which can be done with heavy grenades, regular grenades, rocket launchers, anything like that. You just have to let the wrecking ball hit the wall first in order to be able to skip that part, or I guess you can call it a skip. It's not really a skip. It's definitely intended. Similar to the church bell skip, it's also not really a skip. It's just an Easter egg. And just as I was starting to get annoyed with her again, Sadler comes in for the save and takes her away. Hopefully that's the last time we'll be seeing her. We then come up on a camp and find pictures of me. I'm starting to believe that this whole thing with Krauser and Leon is more than a rivalry. Anyways, I don't swing that way, so after going through this section, getting shot with a couple explosive bow darts, and getting absolutely slammed, we finish off Krauser and are headed to the final section of the game. Here we are at War Room 1. This one's pretty easy. We wait for Mike to show up at the first section. He deals with the enemies at the first section and the second section. Whenever the turret comes out, you just throw a heavy grenade up there, and you should be able to kill them pretty easy. Might take a try or two, but there is a checkpoint right at that spot. So you can just reload it till you get it. It's very easy. And it saves a lot more time than doing it the way the game intends you to. Narrowly avoiding JJ, we escape War Room 1 and head right into War Room 2, where I tried to do the skip, but I couldn't get the Navistadors to do exactly what I wanted them to, so I just went ahead and did it the fair way, how it was intended. Wasn't too bad, fairly easy. And now we come up on Sadler. Right as Leon was about to generate seed, Ada shows up and ruins the party, so we have no choice but to grab Ashley and complete the mission, I guess. We remove Ashley's parasites before passing out, only to wake up realizing it wasn't a dream and that she's still here with us. And this leads us into the final boss. And this is the part of the video where I let you know that down in the description there is a link to an unlisted video of all boss fights in this challenge that I did. Basically unedited. So if you're wondering why this video, I kind of blitzed through the boss fights, it's because I already made a whole other video that goes over just that. So you can check that out in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody, and finish the video, please. Please!
Am I the only one who's curious what it tastes like? I recall him having an attack where he could shoot the machine gun bullets out of his fingers, but that wasn't the original, and I could have also totally made that up, so I'm not sure. I feel like I only ever experienced it on the PS2 version. And again, I haven't played a lot of separate ways on newer gen consoles. Once again, most of that was on my PS2 for sure. Alright. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay. Ready? There's that. Here's what we want. Yep. He's gonna go... I forget where he goes from here. Up. Just goes up. Cool. Oh, hi. always want to do it the fun way, but I don't know if there's really a fun way to do this. I mean, I can try to get him like that, maybe? That's one. I'm also using the wrong knife. Maybe if I just go right here and use this one, it'd be a lot easier for me. Come here. I just want his little thing. I'm like right up on him, dude. This is up close and personal. This isn't very enjoyable. I think I got him. Oh! Right. Yeah. But Leon's human, guys. Don't worry. He's... All right. Get some Attack on Titan shit right here.
Nothing personal, Leon. Luis and I have an arrangement. Don't worry, I'll take it here.
Remember the fight in the jungle? Barely made it out alive.
Right here. You coming?
Think you can swallow me whole, huh? I think we both know this. Where we go our separate ways.
I see. Better get a move on. Until next time, Leon.
Doing stunts. Alright, we did it. We did it. Smooth escape.
Wait